If your profit margins are high enough and you produce enough, you can have a whole lot of leak or loss of revenue due to poor production and still be profitable.
Losing dental claims? It's time to get a grip on it. In each episode, we bring you real conversations with revenue leaders, building pros, and operators who've battled claim confusion and won. Whether it's strategy, workflows, or tools that actually work, we are here to help you streamline your billing, recover lost revenue, and lead a high-performing team. Let's dive right in and get a grip on it.
Welcome to Get a Grip on Your Dental Billing. My name is Shane Billings. This is my brother, Brad. Together we make
The Dental Billings.
the Dental Billings. Brad, do you remember when we were kids?
Very integral parts, small pieces.
Everything you haven't blocked
The
out.
important
Everything,
things that defined and shaped who I am as a human being. I remember those
everything
parts.
everything therapy brings back, I remember.
Yeah, right. Whenever I go to therapy, whatever they remind me of, that's what I remember.
So
You want
you were an
you
interesting
want a
kid. Do
you
you
want a
remember?
therapy story? I'll tell you a therapist story if you would like one.
Okay, do it. Do it.
About our sister. You might have heard these, but
Of course I heard these. I
yeah.
would tell me like I haven't heard it before.
Well, like I've always had this problem, even into my old age. I have a trauma response to being blamed for things that I didn't do. So like if I'm being accused, even by my wife today, like most people are like, no, I didn't do that, but I'm like, no, and I get all super defensive. And
Hmm.
the reason is because growing up, and I found this out when I was like 30. Somebody was like, "Hey, remember
Let's,
when
let's,
you broke that cabinet door in the kitchen?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I do remember that." And we had this. Do you remember where the cereal was in our kitchen?
wasn't it above? It was like when you turned to the left, it was kind of just right there.
It was, yeah. So we had this like standalone oven, right, halfway up a
Yeah,
wall,
that's right.
and then above
Yep.
that was a cabinet, and we always had like a step stool right in front of there. So if you wanted cereal,
And
you
it
had to go up
made
the
the
three-step
it made
step
the cereal
stool.
super warm when we used the
Yeah,
oven.
well, and it also was like super hard for, teenagers to reach this super high cabinet. And there's no
Yeah.
handrails on the stairs, so I would reach up and everybody I think would do this. And there were handles on the cereal cabinet, and so you'd reach up right away and kind of use them to open and step up the stairs, and then you'd pick your cereal out and you get back down. Well, one day I'm stepping those up and I go and I grab the handle and the whole side of the cabinet door comes off and I fall backwards and like
You
land
just
on my
ripped
back. Yeah, it just rips off the side of the door, and I'm like, ugh. And then Summer comes running in. Summer's our sister. Comes running in, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you broke the cabinet door!" And I'm like, "I know. What am I gonna do? Dad's gonna be pissed." Even though Dad never got mad, and she's like, "Yeah, he's totally gonna be mad at you." And he was like, "Oh, my Brad broke another thing." Well, it turns out she broke it, and then she like Jimmy rigged it up there, and then told me to go pour her a bowl of cereal.
so
So
she
that
broke
she
it.
could frame
She broke
me.
she broke
She
it and
broke the
then
door first. She actually broke it,
yeah.
and then
Summer broke it before you did and then pieced it back together so it was just holding together just from its
right, it was just hanging up there.
it was just
And then
hanging.
she's like, "Go get me a bowl of cereal." And then when I was laying on my back, she didn't like. It wasn't like, "Are you okay?" It was
Yeah,
like
right.
follow through with the execute the plan. See,
Well,
deliver the
didn't she,
message to
that
Garcia.
wasn't the only time.
It wasn't like, "Are you okay? Are you dead? You're flat on your back in the kitchen." It's like, "No, you broke the cabinet," even though I know I did. And then, 20 years later, she let me know.
She confessed, told you the story. Well, didn't she break a cup and then put it in her pillow that you sat
Oh,
on or something?
yeah, that one. So we had that huge green furry pillow, and we used to
Yeah, oh
like
yeah.
dive onto it and stuff and play games on it. And yeah, she took a coffee mug that was already broken, hid it under there, and then talked me into playing that game. And I jumped on the pillow. And she's like, "Did you hear something?" I'm like, "No." Like, I think I did. And then she pulled out the broken cup. Oh, you broke the coffee cup.
I think you
And
should
this
send
is
her.
the two that she can remember. This was probably like a daily thing. Who knows what I broke anymore, you know?
I think you should send her your therapy bill. She owes you.
So many ways.
All right,
But yeah,
those are
so
great
now
stories.
I'm like ultra defensive if I get accused of stuff.
I'm telling you, man, like your childhood was ruined because everybody thought you were crazy. Now, to be clear, you never did anything else.
No, I didn't break a
Why?
lamp with a hammer or like
You never did
ever.
anything else. I think.
Dude, one time, were you there? We were playing like wall ball on the garage.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even like, the impulse control, you're like sitting on a chairlift and you're like, don't jump off the chairlift. Even though you think you're like, I should jump off this chairlift. And then you don't. You don't jump off the
Yeah,
chairlift,
like you like. What would
right?
it be like if I did something stupid
Yeah,
right now?
like
You gotta
impulse
be like,
control, and then you control it and you don't jump off the chairlift. Well, so I'm playing wall ball on the garage, and I could throw pretty accurate, I was pitcher, and there's all these windows at the top of garage, and like and so like I'm playing with my buddies, and I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I hit that window with this ball, and I just throw the tennis ball through the garage window, and it sounded super cool, so I'm like, that was dope. Hey guys, we can keep playing. I'm pretty sure I broke everyone, and I'm fairly sure they were on purpose. Your
how did
dad came
that
home
go?
like, why didn't you stop? And I'm like, oh, well, I figured after the third one, the other two were fine, He had to have known. Like, what is
Yeah,
wrong with my boy?
my son's an idiot, or
Yeah, what's wrong with him? I'm like, I don't know.
I'm sure. And you remember, we never had a garage door opener. We had to open that thing. It was 100,000 pounds, and we had to open
Oh,
it
yeah.
all the
Like
time.
only a few of our select friends could open it. Like,
Yeah, right. And Dad would not buy a garage door opener.
no, no. Well, and the garage door was made of like solid oak because he kept replacing panels with solid oak. You know what I mean? Like it was a wooden garage door, and then like one would rot through, and he'd buy like 3/4 inch thick plywood and cut it out and glue it in there. So it made it even heavier. So eventually that thing was like 350 pounds. Like open the garage door. Mom was like trapped inside half the time.
He
It was
loved his
just fine.
garage. He loved his garage. He would tinker all there, and he would
I
clean it all
know.
the time. He loved
Yeah.
cleaning it.
It always smelled like sawdust. It was good. It was a good childhood. And all of this, and like I still have, like I talk to my other friends, and they're telling me about their trauma, and I'm like, I can't relate. My childhood was really good.
Yeah, yeah, it was. We
Yeah,
had good parents. All right, so Brad, I have some questions that I want to discuss with you about how to run a successful dental office.
I love that. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I've heard, and you can tell me if this is true, a lot of dentists focus on production, and we'll define production as when I'm just like a patient's in a chair and I'm doing my dental work on them. That's production. It produces
Yeah.
hopefully revenue. And then there's another side of the business, which is operations. It's the traditional business stuff, making sure things run smoothly, marketing, advertising, like billing, and all these things. What is the rumor that I've heard is that a lot of dentists focus on production and then forget operations or focus on one and then neglect the other.
I guess here's my opinion. So, dentists go to school and they spend a lot of money and they get into a lot of debt. And in that school, I've talked to a few dentists that had, an occasional business class, but the majority of them, I mean, they go to school and they learn about dentistry. They don't learn about how to run a business. And then, that half of them are hiring their wives or like a DA that's been with them long enough to like understand a few things, and they make them their office manager. And nobody's ever had like formal training about operations or running a successful business. So it becomes this hodgepodge of really bad operations, no P&L, no management by numbers, no operational soundness, no lean Six Sigma. Not that everybody should be doing that, but just no efficiency within the operation, right? But I think the best way to answer that question would probably be there's correlated metrics that I've learned, like most highly correlated metrics that lead to profitability, and production's, number 3, I think. And
Oh, is
I
that
mean, the
right?
other one, yeah, it's number 3. It's pretty high up there.
Yeah, no, three's high.
You have to produce to
Yeah, you
make money.
have to.
So, yeah, so the idea that they do, and this is kind of my perception of it, is you come out of school, they don't know anything else. And if you overproduce, you can actually if you're in the right state, so I should say that. If your profit margins are high enough and you produce enough, you can have a whole lot of leak or loss of revenue due to poor production and still be profitable. So that's why you see so many
Oh,
doctors
that
just
is
focusing on
the word
production.
leak. The word leak, is that a common term?
Yeah, operational leak or inefficiencies that create smaller profit margins. Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. I've earned the money, so to speak.
Yeah.
I've done things that should generate, and the delta between that and what I actually generate is a leak.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And it comes in the form, and depending on, again, we track it through, adjustment percentages, and then you compare percent of collection to production, and your percent of collection to run extremely profitable dental practice. You want to be between 97 and 100% of collections to production after insurance write-offs. But those businesses that have never focused on operational efficiencies or any of those things, they're probably operating more around 80% of collections to production, which you're losing 15%. But if you're in the right states, again, that leak would be okay, depending on what your fees are. So I think that, like, as a doctor, if you don't know operations, then I think that's a fine focus. You're probably not going to be able to be in states like Utah or just the low reimbursement states. There's a few of them. Montana's really low. They just have really really low average fees, and so you can't have that leak, or you go into negatives. You're doing dental work and losing money. Also, with
So
some technology behind it, like, you can reduce the cost of production, and
is it
that'll help.
common
But
is it common for dentists to analyze that leak, or do most not?
is it common? Yeah, it's common now. I mean, that's the reason why DSOs are the largest growing segment of dentistry. Dental support organization is the largest segment of dentistry, is because dentists produce, DSOs manage the operations, and so most
Right.
dentists are just like, I can't figure it out. I'm just gonna sell to somebody that does my operations for me, and they reduce their percentage of ownership, but then they increase their profitability. So you become net net, and then you get into a bigger equity event based on size of purchase. So
Well, that's
and
one
you get
method is
multiple
like,
equity events.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or create your own DSO and hire somebody that can run it for you, like a business.
Yes, that's the other option. Is so what I see in almost anywhere that has solid operations is you have operators and you have clinical, and they're separated. And that's the way everywhere
Yeah.
that I've been that is successful and tight with operations. They have a clinical side leader and an operational side leader, and they really don't mix a lot. There has to be some discussion around it, but even at one of the organizations that I worked at, we never said, these doctors work for us. We said we support these doctors, so that we would eliminate the discussion of, like, you don't work for me, I support you in your production and clinical, and that's you. And I'm going to be over here collecting for you. I'm going to make sure that your operations are sound, that our marketing is good, that we're taking care of our new patients, and our continuing care is continuing to grow. But, like, they were very, very separate, and that's kind of the way that I've remained, is to keep it that
Yeah.
way. You can't be profitable with our production, so it's kind of where you
Yeah, of
start.
course, right? You can't open a dental office without a dentist. Now, it seems to me that if you look and try to save money on operations, you'll eventually lose money overall. It seems like what the best option is to invest and get a return on that, right? So it's going to cost a little bit. Like, so, you buy tools and software, you buy all these
Yep.
things, you hire good people. Like any money
Reporting,
that
you
you put
buy,
in
yeah.
should return.
Well, if you use it, and that's
Yeah.
honestly the challenge, is, like, a lot of doctors get so weighed down with the production side that they buy these tools and then they don't use the tools. And I've seen that a ton. Like, oh, we bought XYZ reporting. Like, okay, what have you learned from it? And Oh, I haven't really had a chance to look at the numbers. Like, and
Yeah.
how much do you pay a month? $350 a month. Oh, and you don't use it? How long have you had it? 2 years. Okay. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good investment. At least if you ever need to go back, you have it.
Yeah.
But
That's a
yeah,
really
a
good.
lot of doctors just buy tools and don't spend them using.
I think what I'm hearing from you, probably the key is a good office manager who can run the business and do things that the doctor really doesn't have time to do.
Yeah, I think in my mind there's two things, right? Like you have to have a doctor that's sound clinically and
Mm,
that understands how to be efficient with his supplies and his time. And then secondly, yeah, the office manager. And the office manager has to do everything unless you
yeah,
have,
right.
support behind the office manager.
Well, good. Okay, that helps me understand your world a little bit better, Brad. And certainly, I think there's an opportunity to focus on both sides of the business. And I just want to say, I trust you a lot.
A lot of people do, and I'm still wondering why. So I try real hard, man, but I'm not
It's
perfect. That
no,
is
no,
for
it's your
sure, in my
hands.
opinion.
Your hands are why I
And
trust.
it's because my hands are always visible,
What
and
did you
that's
think I was
why
doing? I did this.
people trust me the most. Is that my hands are always visible, and that's why
What is my
I've
hand
gained
always?
everyone's trust.
You do trust me a lot.
I mean, what I will say is I'm always very forthright in everything that I do, but that doesn't mean that I'm perfect in everything that I do. I'm just very forward when I mess
You
up.
take
And
that so
yeah, yeah,
seriously, Brad. That's awesome. I mean, I do trust you, but it's because of your hands.
that is why.
All right. Till
And my
next
smile.
time.
Till next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Get a Grip on Claims. If today's episode helped you rethink how your team handles billing, don't forget to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. For more tools, insights, and claim-saving strategies, head over to agripon.com. Until next time, stay sharp, stay structured, and keep a grip on your claims.